So in today's lesson and continuing with linear graphs, we're going to look at how we plot a line graph if we're given an xy table and the equation of that straight line. And that will take us on to looking at things like y equals mx plus c and the general equation of a straight line, okay? So typically in your exam you might be asked a question of this nature where first off you might be asked to complete what's known as an xy table, and you're given the equation, so we're completing the xy table for values of y equals 2x plus 1. And essentially what we're going to get from this is coordinates to then be able to plot a straight line graph. Alright, so part A of this equation, complete the table of values for y equals 2x plus 1. So we're given the x values from -1 up to 4, and essentially these are our values of x for each coordinate. So we have to work out the missing y values. So we have to work out what y is when x is -1. We know what y is when x is 0, so when x is 0, y is 1. And just to prove that, I mean, if I was to take x equals 0 and substitute it into that equation, y equals 2x plus 1, and when you're substituting, we're going to replace 0 with x in this equation, so 2 times x plus 1, so this now becomes 2 times 0 plus 1, okay? And I mean, even if you put that into your calculator, 2 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. So that makes sense. When x is 0, y is 1. We have that up here. When x is 0, y is 1. So we can do that for the missing values. And actually, what you'll notice, we also have the equation, or the value for y when x is 2. So when x is 2, y is 5. We're going to do it for this instance. And eventually what you'll notice is, you'll notice a pattern. So we don't have to do it for all these values, alright? So we'll do it for when x is -1. You just need to be careful when you're dealing with negative numbers, okay? So y equals 2x plus 1, we're using the same equation each time that they give us within the equation, or within the question. We're doing y equals 2 times, well, x is -1 this time, 2 times -1 plus 1. Okay, and again, you can use your calculator for this, it's in the M2, 3 or 4 exam. 2 times -1 is -2 plus 1, -2 plus 1 is -1. Okay, I'm using a pencil today, sorry if that's a wee bit tricky to see, just because we are going to be drawing some straight lines. So when x is -1, y is also -1. Okay, I'm also going to do it for when x is 1. Okay, so y equals 2x plus 1, again using the same equation that they give us in the question. Y equals 2 times 1 this time plus 1. So y equals 2 times 1, which is 2, plus 1, so y equals 3. So when x is 1, y is 3. Okay. Now, this is why I'm not going to work out the rest of these. I could do that for 3 and 4. But again, just to save you that working out. And again, as you become more competent with these, you'll be able to work them out much quicker, probably with a lot less working out. You'll notice that the y values, as the x values are going up in 1s, the y values are going up in 2s. So -1, 1. So yeah, y values are going up in 2s. Difference between -1 and 1 is 2, 3, 5. So it's very easy then to work out that this is going to be 7 and this is going to be 9. And I could work that out very quickly. And I mean, if x is 3, so 2 times 3 plus 1 is in fact 7. If x is 4, 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So that makes perfect sense. So essentially what these are, and you'll see for part B of the question, on the grid, draw the graph of y equals 2x plus 1. These are coordinates. So -1, 1. This is the x, this is the y. So this is the coordinate -1, -1. This is the coordinate 0, 1. This is the coordinate 1, 3. This is the coordinate 2, 5. This is the coordinate 3, 7. And this is the coordinate 4, 9. Okay? And if I plot these, I should get a nice straight line. Okay, so -1, 1, 0, 1. So -1, -1, sorry. Not -1, 1. Okay, and then I have the next one is 0, 1. So 0 and then up 1. Alright. The next one is 1, 3, so 1 across, 3 up. 2, 5, 3, 7, 4, 9. So 2, 5. And you can see I'm getting a nice straight line. 3, 7. And the last one I had was 4, 9. And I get a nice straight line from those, okay? And again, obviously what you would do is you would take a ruler and your pencil and you would draw a nice straight line through these. I'm going to have to draw this freehand just because, as I've said in previous lessons, I'm filming with my left hand and therefore I can't hold a ruler. Okay, but within the actual exam, use a ruler and do a nice continuous straight line right the length of the entire axis that is given. Okay, we'll just do a second example, and again this time we don't have any values of y to help us out, but it's the same principle. We substitute our values for x into the equation given. So this time we're doing the we're going to plot the graph of y equals minus 3x plus 4. So just be careful when you're dealing with negatives. So we're going to work out the value of y when x is minus 1. So x equals minus 1, y equals minus 3x plus 4. I'm going to replace x with minus 1. So that's minus 3 times x, so that's minus 3 now, times minus 1. Plus 4. Just be careful. Minus 3 times minus 1. Multiplying two negatives. Use your calculator for that if you're unsure. Multiplying two negatives gives me a positive. So minus 3 times minus 1 is positive 3 plus 4. Y equals 7. Okay? So x minus 1, y equals 7. The next one, x equals 0. So y equals minus 3 x plus 4. Y equals minus 3 times 0 plus 4. Anything times 0 is just 0, so y equals 0 plus 4, which is in fact 4. Okay, so that is 7, that is 4. Do one more for good measure. Do it over here. So when x equals 1 this time, so we're getting y equals minus 3 times 1 plus 4. Minus 3 times positive 1 gives me minus 3 plus 4. Minus 3 plus 4 is 1. Okay, so again, just to save the hassle of having to work out the last one, we notice a pattern. This time it's going down in threes, so the next one here is going to be minus 2. Okay, and again, this is something else I'm just going to point out. Again, it'll be helpful when we're learning the equation of a line y equals mx plus c and so on. The coefficient of x was minus 3, and this was going down in 3s. And to point out in the last question as well, the coefficient of x was 2, and this was going up in 2. So whatever the coefficient of x is what the y values are going up in, as the x values are going up in 1s. All right. These are our coordinates, so that's minus 1, 7. So minus 1 all the way up to 7. 0, 4. 0, and then all the way up to 4, 1, 1, and then 2 across and minus 2 down, and we end up with our straight line going down the ways, negative gradient. We will come to this in the next lesson where I explain the equation of a straight line. The coefficient of x is in fact the gradient. We looked at gradient in our last video. This was a negative gradient, so it makes perfect sense that it's going down the way. This last question was a positive gradient, so it makes perfect sense that it's going up the way. We will look at that in the next video. Okay.